Before you watch the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put like to keep up to date with the latest news. After 9 months of war in Ukraine, its statehood and identity have become stronger than ever, and what Vladimir Putin wanted in a neighboring country is now happening in Russia. The war turns Russia into a failed state with uncontrolled borders, private militias and fleeing populations, which makes the country ungovernable, writes The Economist. Excessively. Western leaders have strengthened confidence in Ukraine's ability to defend itself against Russian aggression, but at the same time, concern is growing about Russia's ability to survive the war, writes Arkady Ostrovsky, editor of The Economist magazine. According to the magazine, the first sign of a failed state is the lack of clear borders. The annexation of 4 regions of Ukraine in September 2022, even before the establishment of control over these regions, turns Russia into a state with unsafe and uncontrolled borders. This may indicate that the Russian authorities are no longer able to fully fulfill their tasks, says political scientist Ekaterina Shulman. The Russian Federation, as we know, is disintegrating and moving into the stage of a failed state, he said. The political scientist also said that the annexation of Ukrainian regions could create a precedent for problem regions inside the country, including the republics of the North Caucasus. Shulman noted that if the authorities in Moscow begin to loosen their grip, some of these regions may try to secede from the Russian Federation. Another sign, according to The Economist magazine, may be the loss of the state monopoly on violence. This is evidenced by the actions of forces controlled by Vagchika and Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov. The magazine notes that Russian state security agencies are increasingly serving their own interests. Moreover, the Kremlin can no longer act as a guarantor of the security of the country's residents, and with the announcement of mobilization, it even became, according to The Economist magazine, the main source of danger. With his special military operation, Putin has broken the fragile consensus that people will not protest against the war if they are left alone. Now they have been told to fight and die in the name of his regime. The author of the article adds that the mobilization caused much greater unrest in the country than at the beginning of the war, led to a new wave of migration and increased social tension. Context. In October, The Economist magazine reported that Russia's political and economic elite had begun to develop scenarios for the country's further development without Putin. The document also notes that military defeats have brought Russia closer to serious unrest and even to a failed state. Earlier, the magazine published an article based on interviews with Russian officials and businessmen. According to the newspaper, representatives of the elite have recently begun to discuss the change of leadership in a way that has never been discussed under the Putin administration. What do you think about this news? Write your opinion in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel to keep informed about the latest news.